about to go down. Lateka S Carter's on a new platform where she educating, enlightening, entertaining, empower the audience worldwide.
Lateka S Carter Show. Lateka S Carter Show. Lateka S Carter Show. It's showtime. Let's go. Greetings to each and every one of you who are starting to tune in and will be watching this on the live. I am Lateka S Carter of the Lateka S Carter Show, coming to you live here with an amazing, an anointed and an amazing guest on this show, Dr. Chris Wilson. I am so elated, honored, and humbled to have him on this show. Some of you, like he refers to our home team coming back from Martinsville, Virginia, may have heard about the tragedy, that happened years ago in 2003, where he was wrongfully convicted of a crime that he did not commit. He has been on many public medias like CNN, CBN, and listen, you name it. Not to mention, he's doing amazing things with his brand, his business within the community. So I want to tell you just a little bit about Dr. Chris Wilson, just in case you're not familiar with his story or who he is even now. So in 2003, he was 18 years old when he was convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to 88 years. That was 30 years behind bars and then 58 years on parole. Now, after serving 17 years, did you hear me? After serving, an 18-year-old goes into jail now, didn't even get to have high school, senior year, and really live up, go to college, things of that nature, like most 18-year-olds are looking forward to being able to do the amazing things that they want to do in their lives. He didn't even get a chance to do that because he was wrongfully accused. And after serving 17 years of his life, he was pardoned on February 3rd, 2020, after falsely being imprisoned. So he was already falsely in prison for 17 years when he was 18 years old, 17 years later. In just 2020, Dr. Chris Wilson was able to come out and have his freedom. We're going to dive in a little bit to find out how that made him feel, the ins and outs. But I want to just let you know what he's up to today. Doctor, did you catch that? He was 18 when he went to jail. Now he's a doctor. So Dr. Christopher Wilson is a minister, author, life insurance agent, and a co-CEO of Eratech Creations, owners of the Zipline app and a My Event Advisor app. His mission in life is serving people, making our community safer, creating jobs, and contributing to the economy. Listen, are you all ready to meet this phenomenal guest here, Dr. Chris Wilson, Christopher Wilson? Welcome to our virtual stage.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited, humbled to be here. Absolutely.
I'm excited and humbled to have you here. And I know when you got out, we can go to your website and we see that it says you were featured on TBN, CEN, and other major platforms and outlets. Now, here it is, you're coming on my humble little show. Now, how does it make you feel to hear that again with me sharing with the audience, letting them know just a little bit of background of your story? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, sure. It's almost surreal. It really is the principle. The Hebrew boys, they came out without the smell of smoke. And it's kind of like I'm reminded of it. So I was in South Carolina last weekend, Charlottesville the weekend before that, South Hill, Virginia before that. And so I do get to hear the bio at times. But it's kind of like, I don't really live the past. It's kind of like, he brought me out, Scarfee, yeah.
Yes. And that's awesome. He brought you out. God brought you out. So I entitled this From Prison to the Palace, meaning like Joseph's story. He was wrongfully in prison as well. Most of us know that story, but how God used him for such a time as that. And I do believe God is using you for such a time as this, where you are now. Just to read a little bit of a couple sentences of your bio. This was just February 3rd, 2020. And now we're in 2022. You are smoking out here.
Yeah, I'm doing well. So I'm actually in town today, and it's just humbling to see what God is doing. Which is why I enjoy any platform to tell anyone that would listen. Like, I mean, you can see what happened to me, but a setback does not disqualify you. Your past does not disqualify you. The gifts that you don't have does not disqualify you. God considered it all. He still called us, and He's gonna get a return on what He placed on the inside of us. That's for sure.
He's going to get a return on what He placed on the ROI. Come on, return on investment. I love it. So let's just go backwards just for a moment. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, or even hearing Dr. Chris' name Chris Wilson's name for the first time, he's also going to be on our platform for the conference coming up October 1st in Greensboro, North Carolina. So you're going to learn a little bit more about that towards the end. So you may have seen his face on the flyer. We are bringing on our speakers so you can learn a little bit more about who they are, what they do, and what they have to offer you. Like he's no, how they say, the older people say spring chicken. Like no young spring chicken. But I'm saying you've accomplished a lot with the time that you were given. So let's just dive back, if you will, to that dreadful day on April 3rd, when you were wrongfully in prison. When you went into prison for that first time after realizing, oh my gosh, I'm never getting out of here. You know, I can only imagine at 18 years old. What was it like for you?
Sure. So it's like that real Walking Dead. I actually was 3 weeks before my 18th birthday. So I was sentenced to more time in prison, 88 years with 58 suspended, an active sentence of 30 years, sentenced to more time in prison than I had been alive on the earth. It's like surreal. You can't even like fathom it. Yeah, it's a numbing effect.
Yes. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. Even so for my children. So I'm sure for a lot of things with your family that you had to leave behind, and people not believing you, because that's just what people do. And they have the proof, then that's what it is. But God had a bigger plan for you. So while you're in prison, how did you arrive to this place of, I have to make use of the time that I have? So when God did allow you to come forth, you were able to take off.
Yeah, sure. So it says in prison you got two choices. You either draw closer to God or further away. This is why you see massive growth in men. You can utilize your time or you don't. So if you use the time wisely, you can make great strides. Read hundreds of books. And it was just kind of in me. So I grew up, my dad's a pastor. Been a pastor for 26 years. So it was on the inside of me. I knew there was a God, and thus that was my reason to believe. So I had hope in that place. The one thing you need in a prison setting is hope. You got to believe that your day is going to come. And so that's why I was committed to add value to myself and fulfill my assignment in that place so I could get to the next season. It's what it is that you see a lot of us out here today. We make suboptimal decisions because we do not have hope. We do not see beyond the present circumstances. But if we were to believe, tap into belief, and then begin to make optimal decisions, your assignment in the current season can be up, and you can move on. You can see greatness in your life. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's awesome. But for you to have also all of these plans and projects and the purpose on the inside of you to be so young, how did you arrive at a position that, one, you became a doctor, but two, it was almost like when you got out, you knew what you were going to do. You had a plan, even while you were in the prison.
Yeah, sure. So I kind of, that was it. I made a plan. I didn't play like a lot of chess and checkers and workout and stuff like that. I did those things, but it was minimal. Like I wanted access to every book I could get my hands on. Once I found about college credits via email and via mail, actual mail, like writing out papers. My fingers, my hands still hurt now.
Wow.
Writing hundreds of papers, yeah. But everything that was available, I wanted to take advantage of it. And so since being here, I had my doctorate, got here, started the company, and it's been humbling to see what's happening with it. Yeah.
Wow. Like when you say you started the company, what can you just explain a little bit about
Sure.
what the company is? I know I read a couple of
Absolutely.
them. Like you even have a couple apps at the same time.
Right. Yeah. So absolutely. So our first app, the name of the company is called AirTech Creations. I met a guy in there, Javon Watson from Richmond, Virginia, which is where my office is. That's where I'm at often, Richmond, Virginia. And I learned all that I could from him. And so we actually started the company. I arrived, and it's just kind of taking off. We have quite a few investors and a lot of people happy to see the success of AirTech Creations. It's an app, game, and web design company. And so our first application is now free in the Google Play and the App Store. It's called Zipline, Ziplign. And so for us to have our own social media platform, and we're just, we got workers. There's a company in India that's working on the application now. So just to see that advance and to be in that sector, the .com industry is a $60 billion industry. So it's like God really do this. He wiped the tears from your eyes. You don't even remember, former things. It's true.
Wow. That's so awesome because a lot of people have freedom now and they just waste time. They
Yeah,
waste time. And that's one thing we can't get back is the time that we
yeah,
have every
yeah,
single day. But you made use of the time that you were given, not literally time, but as the clock was ticking,
yeah,
there was just something inside of you. You know how the song says, "My daddy prayed for me. He had me on his
yeah,
mind."
yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
sure there were a lot of prayers going up for you, but nonetheless, there had to be a lot that was instilled inside of you for you to be so disciplined at
yeah,
such a young age with you being in prison. And now you're starting companies with major investors. You're flying all over the world talking and encouraging and
yeah.
building and like we said before, creating jobs and opportunities in the eco structure, the ecosystem. So how does it feel right now for you to look back just in a little over 2 years
Yeah.
that you've been making these major moves?
It's humbling. So I actually I hadn't had them update the website yet. I was actually given the television. So conversations with Christopher. So I was in Stewart, Virginia today, but before that, it was my time in the studio. It airs around here on BTW 21.
That's
Um, so it's humbling to be in the studio and then to be able to just share and release. It's humbling. Like you definitely got to give God the glory, but essentially
yeah,
it's working the principles of the book. So we know
yeah,
the of the Lord Jesus, that
yeah.
gives access to heaven. Dr. Murdoch says that it is the principles of the Lord Jesus that lets us live successfully here on the earth. And that's my heart for mankind. The Bible is relevant and it contains the principles that allow us to be significant, successful, and satisfied right
Wow.
here on the earth before we leave.
Repeat that last line. It
Oh,
allows
yeah. The Bible contains the principles that allows us to be significant, successful, and satisfied
I love
right here on earth. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
significant, successful, and satisfied. I just talked about that access. The
That's
access
it.
being granted last night on the
Come on now.
ministry. I'm just saying. Woo.
Wow.
This is just so
Yeah.
exciting to have you on here for you to share your story because if people are tuning in and will tuning later, they'll be able to see that you don't have to be defined by
Right.
where you are. You
Yeah.
do have the ability to do more and to be better, to get better, but we have to apply ourselves. So you applied yourself, not necessarily knowing what was in the future for you. You just knew I can end up like I'm sure some of the other ones that you saw, how they ended up. You
Yeah.
believed in God, your faith was strong, you applied the principles, and it's working for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, how can people tell us a little bit about the app. Like, how can people be a
Sure.
part of the apps that you've created?
Sure. So you go to my website, all the links are there. You tap on the icon, it takes you right to the all the apps have their own websites, and then they're available in the Google Play Store and the App Store if you have an Apple phone. And so essentially it's just you tap in and you celebrate greatness in this particular arena. Yeah, it's humbling to see. So that they're still under construction, still being built, still being coded. But to be there is absolutely humbling. Yeah. So you pull up my website, is there on the screen, drcswilson.com. It gives you all the information. And so we're excited just to be here in the Earth Realm. Yeah.
That's awesome. How did you arrive at knowing that you wanted to create an actual, couple apps? How did you arrive at that?
So it's essentially my friend, the guy that I learned business from, he's such a creator. He had already designed some applications, and so he knew the corporate structure. He had owned a business before, and we just so happened to meet there. So when I got here, I was like, man, we're gonna do business. It's like, it makes sense. This is a $60 billion industry. Why not go here, man? Who says no? It doesn't matter that there's no major university where I grew up at. Does not matter my background. It matters that we know God, and God is bigger than any system. So it's simple. What you don't know, you get people that do. And so now my days are crazy. So helping families get life insurance during the day, but then I'm in IST in the standard time because the company in India is building the applications. So long days and nights, but this is what it calls for. Like I just told them I'd sleep later, and it's just the grace for that. Yeah, we sleep later. My uncle was like, man, you doing a lot. Is that? I was like, nah, it's not. It'll be a lot for you, but for the grace that's on me.
Come on, that part.
Yeah, for the maximum amount of people to be benefited and the least amount of people be sorrowed, I must operate at greatness. Yeah, I have to. It's on my life. I got to. Yeah, that's what we call to. Yeah, all of God's children. So essentially, that's the premise of the book. And if you go to that website, it's a form you can click at the bottom. But anybody that emails me, I send them a free copy of my book. I just so happen to have one in there, but e-copy. I mean, it's everywhere. You can see it online, Google Play, the apps. I mean, no, excuse me. What's it? Website? Walmart, and then I'm so tired. Walmart and Amazon. All of those reviews. Yeah. It's all baby. Yeah, right. But if you email me info@drcswilson.com, I send you this absolutely free. I just want to get it in as many hands as possible. A lady just contacted me from the UK. She said I got to get 5 more copies. She just wanted to have it. Yeah, so it's exciting to see what's happening. And essentially, that's my life work. That's my life's message: to make optimal decisions that the maximum amount of people be benefited and the least amount of people be sorrowed. So it's applicable in every field. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And do you mind me asking, what is your age?
I'm 38. I had to add like the screen.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to bring that up because, oh my gosh, 38 years old. And a lot, I had to share what happened in the past so people could understand how impactful your life is, your story is, to give them hope, to understand there are gifts and purpose on the inside of us. And I think we were talking about that before we got started. You got to be able to tap into that and pull that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm glad that you were able to do that. I mean, you are truly a testament of God's miracle working power and applying yourself, because what happens is sometimes we forget to do our part. And then we want to blame God or blame the system or blame the man for what doesn't go right for us.
Right.
All right. So you entitled yourself, or maybe some people gave you this title, an emotional breakthrough expert. I haven't heard anyone say that about themselves.
Yeah.
What can you, in your own words, explain to the audience what that means to be an emotional breakthrough expert?
Sure. So the mind is more fragile than anybody is telling us. And so the origin is in prison. You can imagine this: 50% of the people cannot read. 50% of the people are dealing with demonic spirits. And being there, you encounter all kind of emotional problems. The emotional breakthrough expert's job then is to get you from the emotional state that you are in to the other side of it, to get you to pierce through the veil. And we were able to do that in prison. And so in my one-on-one interactions today, it takes time, it takes listening, and it takes caring. This is what, like, the love for many has waxed cold here in society. There's no reverence for God here. But the emotional breakthrough expert is concerned about mankind, concerned about people. And because that is the case, you can listen and know that God cares. And we can get you to the other side of the emotions that are holding you in bondage to the life that you're living now. Yeah.
You hit it on the head. It's the emotions. The
Yeah.
emotions that can drive us to do things that we wouldn't typically do if we were balanced or we knew how to deal with our emotions, what has happened. And I'm going to allow you to talk on this part as well. Now, when it comes to the past, the culture, being conditioned, even as a child with your upbringing in society, school systems, church systems, and you become an adult, how would you explain to that adult that is still dealing with a lot of insecurities from their past that's causing emotional roller coasters and they feel they're not going anywhere at all in their lives? They're feeling stuck.
Sure. So the first thing, the highest priority in any crisis, any place that you find yourself in life, is the highest priority is to gain perspective. You got to gain perspective. You got to see you're not in this by yourself. There is someone that cares.
Mhm.
There is a creator. So it's
Mhm.
tapping into identity to be able to gather yourself and then move forward competently, to move forward knowing that this will get better. So it's in choosing to believe in the moment.
Yeah.
So you say, I can't get past this week, but you can get past today. I can't see next month, but you can tackle the moment. If you can conquer the moment, yeah. If you can conquer the moment, gain perspective, I will get through this. I mean, if you could see me, I'm proof that breakthroughs manifest. If you can
Yeah.
hear my voice, and man said it would be 88 years with 58
Yeah.
suspended in prison. And here I am to
Here you
encourage
are.
you. You don't
Mhm.
have to stay where you are. Yeah, that's greatness on the other side.
It, I'm listening to you because I'm telling you, this is where God has been having me
Oh
with
wow.
having. I just had this conversation. Well, in the ministry last night, this is where God was having me to go. He said it's time to be real. So many
Wow.
people don't want to be real about what they're facing and what they're going through. We
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
understand the moment. I mean, living in the moment and understanding there is more. There
Yeah.
break through. We have to break through, and most of the time it's our own selves, our inner
Yeah.
selves. So wow, you got some fans on here, which you already know. Stacy Watkins.
Oh,
Stacy Watkins, and she's tagging people in. um Karen Carter says, Dr. Wilson, you are awesome. We got
praise
another one
God.
on here, Facebook user, her name or his name is not popping up, but they're like, come on now, like you are really talking some major
God.
conversations, and this is a major topic that a lot of church or religious sectors don't necessarily want to tackle. And here it is, you're so willingly coming on saying, listen, I'm an emotional breakthrough expert. This is
Yeah.
what you got to get past to get to.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
Vanessa Swanson, she's on there. Hello, Chris, it's good to see you. God bless.
God
So
bless.
you have people who are tuning in and they're really appreciating the things that you are saying because it's time to tap into who you are. Now, I know the conference is coming up October 1st, and you are one of the speakers on that platform. And the conference is entitled Activate. It's the Activate Conference. And that is
Mhm.
activate the gifts and the talents on the inside of you. And what God was sharing with me about that was we can't necessarily work what we don't know we have. And we have
Mm.
to be able to tap into what He has already given us. Because when we work it, it'll work for us. And you're
That's good.
proof of that, even with the principles of the kingdom and
Yeah.
following what you need to do in your part. So I was blessed to be privy to reach out to you about being a speaker. I was nervous because of your credentials, but God. And I just felt that you would be such a phenomenal speaker to help those who have been stuck or don't necessarily know how to get started. And here you are, over 2 years, you're sharing with them how you activated the gifts and the purpose on the inside of you. And I think I can say you're living your best life at 38 years old, and you haven't even seen your better days yet.
Yeah, life is good. Yeah, definitely. October the 1st, meet us there. You're going to be encouraged. You're going to be enlightened. You're going to be empowered. You're going to be activated. Meet us at the conference. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your familiars, even tell your foes. Get there. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it, because it's time for us to go out in our own ecosystem so that we can work what has been given. And you have speakers who are going to be there to share with you. So if you will, just a little nugget. Can you spend 2 minutes just with a little nugget of what people can expect to receive from you speaking that day?
Sure, absolutely. So all of us were put in the earth realm to accomplish an assignment. So God seen the earth, and he thought that it needed you, your personality, your looks, the way you process information. So it is that you were called to operate at greatness. That's when God gets the most glory, you're the most impactful, and you're the most fulfilled. Said another way is when you're the most significant, the most successful, and the most satisfied that you can be here in the earth realm. We're going to unpack these truths to get you from where you are to where it is that you're called to be, from where you are to the place that you're supposed to occupy, from where you are to your place of significance. For whatever it is that you call to do in the earth, you definitely will hit the ceiling of greatness on your life. You're going to be encouraged. You're going to be enlightened. You're going to be empowered. You want to be here at the conference. Iron's going to sharpen iron. You're going to be activated. You have no choice. It's a biblical principle. Iron still sharpens iron. And we want to lay hold of you. Let's cause the friction, and let's get beyond the place that has held us back. Many people are waiting on you to occupy your place here in the earth realm. I want to assist you in getting there. Come meet us there, October the 1st, conference. You don't want to miss it.
That is awesome. Like, I'm over here shaking my head because you're saying some of the same things that I've been saying, and you and I have never had a chance to meet. I mean, we spoke on the phone to get everything lined up, but I'm just, God knows what he's
Same
doing.
spirit, no doubt. Yeah,
Exactly.
Definitely.
He knows what he's doing, because that's just so important that we know. And the sought after question is, why am I here? The most sought after question is, why am I here? What is my purpose? And most of us go to our graves still not unpacking, like you said, what's on the inside of us. So we go to our grave full rather than empty, and never being able to live out the true potential of what God has placed on the inside of us. And that was one thing that he had shared with me, is he says people are going to their graves not thinking that there was more for them in this life. They're going to their graves thinking that God couldn't do more for them. He said it's time out for that. So here we are now. I know the conference title may sound like, what is this? This sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, if you can just be there, the tickets are only $39 if you don't want to be in the VIP section, which is $10 more. But everything that's going to transpire, we're going to have networking from 12 to 1. So we're going to red carpet. You come in the semi-formal or business casual. You come in and you just network. Bring your business cards or those QR codes or what have you. And don't be afraid to mix and mingle, because as you were sharing a lot within this interview, Dr. Chris, a lot of these things that you were able to do, you had to be connected. And you had to be divinely connected with people who could assist you to get where you are right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So do you have any last comments before we get ready to go?
Meet us at the conference. My passion is helping families get life insurance. I mean, we all need it. It's kind of like a part of my life assignment now. I do a free risk assessment, free needs analysis. Okay. If you're in Virginia, North Carolina, or South Carolina, just contact me. You see the information on the screen, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at the conference. Meet me there, October 1st.
Yes, yes, yes. And I appreciate that and everything that you're doing. So if you'll let people know on your social media handles, how they can connect with you and follow you, because you be dropping some major nuggets and encouraging
Sure.
people. They never know where you're going to be.
Yeah, I gotta get like you, Sister Carter. I don't like my itinerary and stuff. I don't post a lot on social media. I gotta do better. But all of my handles are at DRCS Wilson. And so the website has all of the links at the bottom of it. So LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, I think they got me on. So you can find me there, and I contact people. I'm not like, I do everything myself. You know, I'm accessible. You said access is the greatest gift you can give, and I do my best to respond and be accessible. Yeah.
That's awesome. Dr. Chris Wilson, Dr. Christopher Wilson, we have thoroughly enjoyed you on this show, not trying to take up your time because you still have another engagement to go to.
Yeah.
I am so honored to have you on the show and to you drop some nuggets on here tonight. I mean, people can go back and listen to what you just shared with us and be full off of that.
Praise God.
I mean, you're already impactful and you're making moves and you're going to go further and further because it's needed. You are needed. Like you said, we are needed. There's a whole lot of people we haven't had a chance to meet yet. And we get hung up on those that we know who don't support us. You have to think beyond that.
Yeah.
Go
Right.
beyond that. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Have an amazing evening. Peace and blessings.
Yeah. Peace and blessings.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here from Dr. Christopher Wilson, from the prison to the palace. You heard his story and a brief and how God blessed him to literally come out of the prison, and he took off running and creating a palace that God has given him to go out in the earth, multiply, to be abundant. So he's going to give you nuggets, tips. He's going to equip you to be ready October 1st. So the ticket information is activateconference.eventbrite.com. That is scrolling across the screen. That is activateconference.eventbrite.com. The tickets are only $39. It starts at 12 o'clock p.m. at the Donicon Event Center, 2100 Wendover Avenue East in Greensboro, North Carolina. They will also have shuttles that will pick you up when you park and bring you inside, so you don't have to worry about walking inside the event center from where you park if you choose not to. We're going to have an amazing food, amazing speakers. And then that night, we're also going to do a praise celebration. That's only $20 for that. We're going to have other local amazing artists out of Greensboro, North Carolina, along with international recording, hip gospel recording artist J Lock, who will be performing as well. We're going to be doing a praise celebration because I'm telling you, we're going to be kicking off 2023. Should we all live to see it, we're going to be kicking it off, doing amazing things with our lives. So please, please, please tell someone else. Don't keep this to yourself. Please share this short interview. It's very impactful and it will encourage you. You're getting to learn a little bit more about these speakers that are coming on the platform in October, so you can see what they have to offer, some of their stories, the struggles to get them to where they are right now. You can't be mad at your struggle. You have to embrace that it happened for a reason, and God is going to take you higher and deeper if we all do our part and work what we have been given. We have to learn to embrace what's on the inside of us so that we can continue to be great and work the gifts, because it says when we learn to work the gifts, it'll make room for us. You need some money, learn to work your gifts. If you feel like you don't have enough, learn to work your gifts, because it's going to open up doors. And as you see with Dr. Chris Wilson, he started working those gifts when he came out that prison door. And look at what he's doing, not just in the community, but across the world. God had him to tap into $1 billion, billions of dollars industry, and he's doing amazing things. So go check out his website at drcswilson.com. That's drcswilson.com. Check out his apps. Everything is listed there. If you want to learn more about his story, you can go on the website, click on some of those hyperlinks, and it'll take you out there. I have enjoyed you all tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Until I see you on our Sunday regularly scheduled program. And then again, next Wednesday, we'll have another guest at 8:30 to encourage, impact, and equip you to run. I'm ready to run. I'm ready to run. I hope you all too. I'm ready to run and just continue to unpack what's on the inside of me. May you have a wonderful evening. Peace and blessings.